Hey guys, Pia Silva here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the fit call. Specifically, how we use a fit call to bypass the entire long drawn out sales process that you're probably used to and turn it into a 15-minute call where you can actually close the client on the spot. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up today is because most people that I work with struggle with sales. Let's be honest, you didn't go into this business because you love sales or you even probably had any experience in it. And yet, sales is the lifeblood of your business. Now, the way you're doing it now is probably the way I used to do it, which is I spent a lot of time chasing leads. I spent a lot of time having meetings and coffee with prospects, trying to show them how smart I was and show them how much I knew, and also usually educate them on the value of what I did. If I got a prospect, I spent a lot of time writing beautiful proposals, and all of this time that I would spend trying to convince somebody to buy from me sometimes made absolutely no difference. I mean, often these people would not close. It never guaranteed the sale. And what I know now is that I actually think that whole process was making it less likely to close the sale. Now, instead, I've replaced that whole thing with a 15-minute call, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. If you get this right, you will turn those initial prospect calls that are probably all over the place and have no real intention, you'll do some amazing things with it. First of all, you're going to set this call up for success for both of you so that you both have a successful outcome at the end of it, no matter what. If you do this right, you're going to manage expectations, and that's going to make sure that the prospect comes in with the right mindset, and they're actually going to be more of a buyer's mindset than whatever it is you're doing right now. If you get this right, if they're a great fit, you will close them in a 15-minute call, and it will feel easy. It won't feel like selling at all, because it's not. It's really not. It's called a fit call for a reason. I'll talk about that in a bit. But if you get this right, they're going to pay you for something that you used to do for free, and they're going to be excited about it. And you're going to be excited about it. So let's talk about how and why we do this. What I'd love to do for you today is I want to share just 5 quick keys to getting this call right, okay? In the past, you've probably done some version of offering a free call on your website, like schedule a free call or schedule a free consultation, or maybe you offer free strategy sessions with clients. And I understand this, it's kind of like a good faith showing to the client. I'm willing to give you some of my time so that you can experience what it's like to work with me. Hopefully you have that experience and then they fall in love with you and then they want to hire you. And hopefully after all of this has happened and they trust you and they're interested, and then you start talking about how you can help them, they don't run and hide after you say the price, right? That's kind of the scary moment of truth. You go through this whole process and then they go, okay, so how much is this going to cost me? And then you say it and then they go, oh, that's too much. Or yeah, sure, I'll get back to you. And then you never hear from them again. The worst part of this whole thing. It's why I developed all of this in the first place. Well, in the No BS Agency Mastery Program, I forbid it. I forbid anything that says free consultations, free strategy sessions. Do not put those on your website. Do not offer them like this, because you know what? They are sending the complete opposite message from what you actually want to convey and communicate to your prospects. They're really telling your prospects that your time isn't valuable, that your time is free and doesn't have value. And if you don't value your time, how do you expect your prospects to value your time? This positioning of the call also doesn't set you up for the sale at all. You're basically beating around the bush and saying, oh, no, this is a free consultation. There is no selling on this call, which I understand because you don't want to be selling, but we'll get to that in a second too. What I find is most disturbing about these free strategy sessions, free consultations, is that I actually think they're a little slimy. Listen, if you do it, I know you don't mean to be that way, but let's be honest. What is the point of a free consultation or a free strategy session? It's to make a sale at the end, right? And yet we're not upfront about that. So I actually think there's something a little disingenuous about the whole framing of that. It really is a sales call. It's just trying not to be. So I don't personally think that's a great way to get off on the right foot with a client, is by saying you're doing one thing and then doing another. So I say, let's just call it what it is, right? Instead, I instruct everybody to frame their calls as fit calls. And as assertive as that may feel, I actually find that it's much less salesy than the alternative. We all just know what's on the table. I mean, that's really what a free consultation is all about anyway. It's about finding out if you're a fit. So let's just say it. And what it does is, instead of framing it as if it's this one thing where you're being really helpful and then hoping that at the end they see the value and want to work with you, instead it's like, let's come together and find a meeting of the minds and see if this is a good fit. And now you can just be inquisitive. You can just genuinely ask them questions and try to get to know them and try to understand their problem and if you can help them. And when it comes time to help them, if this really is a fit, instead of kicking the can down the road and telling them, okay, well, let me write you a proposal, let's have another meeting to go more in depth or any of that, you can just make them an offer right there and then. The best offer you can make them is a lead product, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you should go watch some of the videos about the LPs. But here's one main thing I want you to get today about why an LP is such a better option than telling them the prices and the ways that you work. The difference between offering an LP as a solution and offering your services is that an LP is a clear, specific, easy to buy, actionable next step that is going to get them one step closer to solving their problem. It's not a huge ask, and therefore it's an easy thing to say yes to, often right there on the call. If instead you do what you probably do, which is start telling them about your process and your prices and all the different possibilities, what is that going to do? It's going to create all these different opportunities and decisions that need to be made. And what is that going to lead to? Probably more meetings. Probably you have to write them a proposal or figure out exactly what their project is going to look like. And all of that takes time to think about. And all of that time is going to lengthen out this sales process that you have. And that's why it takes so long in the first place. And when you're doing all of that, it can really feel like the client is testing you. They're like asking you to prove to them that you can do the job. They make you jump through hoops, and all of these different steps are opportunities for you to win or lose or get a little bit closer to that goal. And a lot of those steps can feel like a slog where you're trying to convince them to hire you. But if you have this LP, if you have this clear offer that solves at least a part of their problem, there are no hoops. There's nothing else to discuss. There's one offer, it's easy to buy, and they either buy it or they don't. So how do we do this? Well, I think it starts with getting rid of the idea that you're trying to sell people completely. Just get it out of your head. You don't want to be salesy anyway, right? So stop trying to sell people. And instead, I want you to come at it from a place of genuine curiosity. Is this somebody who has a problem that I can solve? And the way to do this is really to master the 3 parts of the No BS fit call. Okay, the No BS fit call is really made up of 3 phases. Phase 1, I call be a detective. You're really just trying to figure out, are they the right person? Who are you? What is your business? What is your problem? What have you been doing? What have you tried? How has it been going? What has worked? What hasn't worked? What problem do they think they have? What's their goal? What problems do you think they have that they don't know they have? All of the above. This is just about being genuinely curious because you know your ideal client so well that you can figure out just by asking questions whether or not this person is the kind of person that you can really knock it out of the park for. Once you get answers for that, I would say the second step is to actively listen. And active listening is not just about perking up your ears, it's actually about reflecting back to people. Sometimes people will tell you what their problem is, but then when you say to them, okay, so I hear that your problem is X, Y, and Z, then they hear it and they go, oh, that's not really what I meant to say. Or yes, but also this other thing. So it's really valuable to actively listen, not just to make sure that you understand their problem, but so that they know that you understand their problem. And finally, step 3 is to offer one solution. Now, you only go to step 3 if they actually have a problem that you are actually perfectly positioned to solve, and only if you know that you can really help them. But if you can help them, this is the kicker with the fit call. You just offer them one thing and you make it really easy to buy. Now, again, the LP is my solution to this. So an LP is a super easy to buy, easy to digest solution to a problem that they know they have. And if you offer that solution here, it should be a pretty no-brainer if they actually have a problem that you can solve. But I think my favorite part of the whole rejiggering of the sales process into the fit call is that it makes things such an easy yes. Here's a student of mine, just booked an LP on a fit call, easy yes for her. I hear this all the time. Here's another one. I pitched and sold my first ever LP on my first ever fit call today. It was an easy yes for the client. I think that's really the magic of the fit call and the reframing. It makes it easy for clients to say yes and to pay you. I know it sounds simple, but I think that the current way that most people are doing their sales is actually making it much harder. You're creating all of these barriers to entry, and if you make it really simple, they will say yes. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope this has inspired you to completely shift the way that you look at sales and pitching and get rid of the sales and pitching and do it in a much easier way. Thanks so much, guys. Much love. See you guys next week.